But anyways, I wanted to jump into some contemporary issues, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, we have the white supremacists. We know that. And we know that we have this case with our good young brother named Karmelo Anthony, who, by the way, I believe he just got a bond, and he's now able to go home and be under house arrest. Thankfully, he got that. But what is it about the white supremacists' inability to be objective, reasonable, fair, or just when it comes to black pain and suffering? They totally have ignored all of the different layers to this case with Brother Karmelo Anthony. But when the Zimmermans and the other cases that are very popular nationally, how come they weren't objective and fair in those cases? But with us, when this young brother got into that situation with that other young man, why are they so unable to be objective and fair?
I would simply say, when have they ever been?
Right.
That is not their culture. That is not who they are. That is not how they've taken over the world. Okay? They are very much a narcissistic, savage, power-hungry group of people. And for them, there is no moral code. They are very much about Machiavellian ethics, which is to have no ethics. The ends always justify the means. So I don't know why black people are surprised that when our children are in unjustifiable murders, we're supposed to accept the exoneration of the perpetrator. But when, our child is in a position where he allegedly may have to inadvertently take the life of another person in self-defense, he's already crucified and convicted in the court of public opinion before he's ever seen a day inside of court. Why? Because he's black and the victim is white. If this was the exact opposite in situation, where the perpetrator was black and the victim, where the victim was black, where the victim was black and the perpetrator was white, this wouldn't even have made television. This would not even be in conversation right now. Because in America, if black life has been so devalued to the point that when it is lost, no one really responds. Now, yes, we will respond with the protest marches and that kind of a thing, but we don't do anything after that, and that's the criticism against black folks. But white people, they would have never even paid this any mind had the victim, not been white. And people are making so much noise over the fact that the young brother had a knife. Well, if I lived in Texas and I was 16, 17 years old, I would probably walk around with a knife as well.
You're damn right.
Texas is one of the most violent states in America.
Facts.
It's a state where you can open carry without a license. Okay, it is a state that aggressively defends the right of its citizens to always be prepared for combat.
Yep.
So if you don't have a problem with people walking around with guns unregistered, why is it a problem for this young child to have had a knife? You see, that doesn't make any sense. At all.
They moved that goalpost so much.
Absolutely. It's a shame. I want to see how this plays out. I want to see what attorneys actually come to the defense of this young man. I hope the same nationally recognized attorneys that come out when we are murdered by police to make that money, that death money, I would hope they come out to defend this young man, because I was part of a case last year. I don't know if you know about this. Well, I wasn't
down in Florida?
Part of the case. Yes, but I followed it closely, the case of Brendan Depper.
Yep, I know about that.
Similar situation, but drastically different outcome. In the Brendan Depper situation, he attacked a teacher's aide for taking a video game from him that his IEP specifically stated to never take from him. So she broke the law in violating the IEP, but he was the one who got convicted of the crime.
Right.
You see, but again, to my point, none of these nationally recognized black attorneys came to the attention of this black boy. And I'll tell you why they don't come to the attention of black boys accused of crimes against white people. It's because it's not sexy. It is taboo. If you want to be famous and comfortable in America as a black person, you don't ever stand in defense of a black person who has ever attacked or assaulted a white person, even if it was in justifiable self-defense. And, unfortunately, we have a lot of cowards in our community. And I don't even know if Al Sharpton has gotten involved in this yet or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, because, again, it's not your rank and file police assassination of an unarmed black person, which is a pretty cut and dry situation, and everybody knows they're going to get paid. This is not that situation. This is a situation where you actually have to defend and stand up for this brother. From what I understand, he's never been arrested, never been to jail, no criminal record. I think he was almost a 4.0 student, allegedly. I heard that. Good kid. But, hey, he was up against two brothers, twins. And, again, I don't take lightly the loss of life. I'm sorry that he lost his life. I'm sorry, to the family that they lost a member. But at the same time, had the table been turned and he had taken the life of that young brother, I doubt very seriously if they would have gave a damn at all. So I'm just saying all that to say that I'm standing with my brother until I see that what he did was done out of an unprovoked act of bigotry against that white kid. I believe that he feared for his life. From what I understand, the white kid was much bigger, much stronger. And
220, 6 feet.
And, say that again.
220 pounds, over 6 feet.
Oh, he would have destroyed that little black boy. He would have destroyed that little black boy. And I don't know if Florida has a stand your ground law or not, but even if they don't, they definitely have self-defense laws. Otherwise, they wouldn't be telling everybody to buy guns. So I believe that there's laws on the books there, that clearly will defend and protect that young man, and what he did to protect his life if he gets the best attorney. It all comes down to how hard you fight in court. It all comes down to how hard you fight in court. It comes down to the judge that you get. It's going to come down to where this case is tried. He's been getting death threats. The family has been getting death threats. And I believe that he will not get an opportunity to receive a fair trial if this case is tried in the same county where the murder took place. I think that county is already biased. The fact that the family's getting death threats, the fact that they can't go outside alone, I think that makes it crystal clear that this case cannot be tried in that county. Even if they move it, it becomes a question of exactly where you're going to try the case. It almost harkens me back to the O.J. Simpson case where they had to try that in another county, because of how biased they felt people would be in L.A. County or whatever the murder took place. So we're almost dealing with O.J. again, only this time the victim is a man, not a woman. This is not a romance. And the black male who's accused of the crime, he's not a multi-million-dollar celebrity athlete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for all of that. And sending my blood happened. This is a typical case of bullyism. And when you're white, you right. When you black, get back. You know how it goes. But anyway, so